Java is a programming language, and Java is, one of the most widely used programming language used in the across the industries. So we have chosen Java as our programming language for this course. So that we first learn for the first 3 to 4 weeks, we are going to learn Java, core Java, and so with that knowledge, programming knowledge, we are going to start Selenium. So Selenium is an automation tool we have discussed. So we'll start writing the scripts using the knowledge we gain learning Java programming language after 3 to 4 weeks. So from today, we are going to start learning Java. So what is Java? So Java is a programming language we have learned, right? So it's actually called object-oriented programming language. So Java is a object-oriented programming language. So when we say Java is object-oriented programming language, we need to know what are the different types of programming languages available, right? So we can say Java is a object-oriented programming language. So to understand that, what we mean by that, so we need to know what are the different types of programming languages available. So let us learn that. So there are three types of, mainly we can categorize programming languages into three types. So structured, object-based, and object-oriented. So what are structured programming languages? So structured programming languages, we can think it of like, so we have learned like what a software is, right? So software is a set of instructions. We know it is a set of instructions, right? So these set of instructions are written to achieve some specific task, right? So that could be a complex logic, complex set of instructions. There could be, right? In some cases. So in such cases, we actually divide that complex logic into smaller portions called functions. So functions are procedures to achieve again a similar subtask, right? So in such type of programming language is called as structured programming language, where we will have some sequence. It goes through a control flow, right? So that type of programming languages are called as structured programming languages. So in such type of languages, there will be limited code reusability or no code reusability, because the functions will be written specific for a particular task. So it might not be useful for any other task. So there will be limited code reusability. So whenever we are actually writing, writing a program, we have to make sure that the code reusability has to be there. So code should not be redundant, or code should not be like, otherwise code will be growing, right? So we have to make sure that the code reusability, if code reusability is there in any programming language, then that actually says that that's a good programming languages to be chosen. So this is what we call it as structured programming languages, where we do have the functions or procedures where the logic will be present in that. So examples of structured programming languages are C, Pascal, and COBOL. So these are some of the programming languages, and these comes under structured programming languages. Next comes object-based programming languages. So what are object-based programming languages? So in object-based programming languages, we use objects. So object is an instance of a class. So you don't need to understand like what an object class. In the coming sessions, we are going to discuss them in detail, but just think it of like, so objects are some entities, right? So a car is an entity, right? And a dog can be an entity like that. So in object-based programming languages, we use objects. So here there will be some level of code reusability, because a type of category will be defined as an object. So we can reuse it to some extent. So there will be some level of code reusability. So whenever I say code, it is again a set of instructions. Just remember that. And examples of object-based are JavaScript, which was before ES6 version, and VBScript. These are the two examples of object-based programming language. And Coming to object-oriented programming languages. Object-oriented programming languages are the languages which actually support OOP concepts. OOP concepts are object-oriented programming concepts. So there will be high level of code reusability. When we say OOP concepts, we need to know what are those concepts. So what are the OOP concepts? This is very important. These are the OOP concepts. So class, object, encapsulation, inheritance, abstraction, and polymorphism. So when we come to, when we are discussing object-based programming languages, object-based programming languages not only uses objects, we can see here class, object, and encapsulation. All these three concepts are supported by the object-based programming languages. And coming to object-oriented programming languages, so it supports all the OOP concepts. So all these OOP concepts, if it supports, then we call those languages as object-oriented programming languages. So here we'll have high level of code reusability. So as we do have classes and objects, we have a chance of reusing the code at multiple places. So we can say that it supports high level of code reusability. So we can say Java as an pure object-oriented programming language, as Java supports all the OOP concepts. Not only Java, C++, Python, C# are also comes under object-oriented programming languages. So structured, object-based, and object-oriented, and Java falls under object-oriented programming language, as it supports all the OOP concepts. So don't worry about these concepts. So even we are going to discuss in the coming sessions. Each of these concepts we are going to discuss in detail of this concept. But for now, just remember that these are the OOP concepts. And if any object oriented programming languages, so if any language has to be called as object oriented programming language, then it has to support all these OOP concepts. If it is an object-based programming languages, then it has to support first three OOP concepts: class, object, and encapsulation. If it is supports only these three concepts, then that programming languages falls under object-based programming language. If it supports all the concepts, then we need to call it as an object-oriented programming language, and Java is purely object-oriented programming language, and it supports all these OOP concepts. All right. So we now came to know what Java is, like under which programming language category Java falls under, right? Now let us understand what are the features of Java. What are Java features? So as we already learned, Java is a pure object-oriented programming language. And Java is platform independent. So what do we mean by platform independent? So in Java, if we write a program, right, and compile it, then that compiled code can be taken and we can run it on any other platform. Say, for example, I have written some code, I have written some program in Windows machine. So after compiling, so we get something called bytecode. We'll discuss that later. So that thing can be taken onto any other platform. Say, for example, on Mac, on Linux, any other platform, and I can run that program on any other machine. So this thing is called as Aura. So that is write once, run anywhere. So this is the most important feature of Java. So write once, run anywhere. So you write it once and you can run it anywhere. Anywhere in the sense, so you write it in one platform and you take that compiled code and run it on any other platforms, right? So this is what we call it as platform independent. So Java is platform independent language. This is very important feature of Java. Next comes Java is a simple language. So it is easy to learn. It has a clean syntax. So as we discussed yesterday, any programming languages follow some guidelines, follow some instructions, right? So it actually follows some guidelines. So that we call it as a syntax. So if you go according to that syntax, only you can write a program, right? So that kind of structured guidelines is what we call it as a syntax. And Java has a clean syntax that you can easily understand, you can easily read, and you can easily understand even. So this actually helps developers write code quickly and also efficiently. So we can say Java is a simple language which is easy to learn. Java is secure. So what do we mean by secure? So Java provides a secure environment for developing and running the applications. So it has built-in security features that helps protect against malicious activities. So Java has inbuilt security features. Like once you are using Java, so it's like secure code. You are writing a secure code which helps against protect against malicious activities. Like malicious activities could be like virus, right? So like hacking the application, something like that, right? So these kind of so say Java actually has the inbuilt security features so that it avoids these type of malicious activities. Next, Java is multi-threaded. So what do we mean by multi-threaded? Java can perform multiple tasks at the same time. So this is especially useful for applications that need to handle many tasks simultaneously, like web servers. So web servers might need to perform like handle many tasks simultaneously. So what simultaneously means is so running tasks concurrently at the same time, parallelly, right? So at the same time, if you are going to run more than one task, then that we call it as a multiple task. So Java is very good at multi-threading. So multitasking. Java can perform multiple tasks at the same time. So applications like web servers needs multi-threading feature definitely because there could be multiple tasks. It can't go in sequence. It has to execute multiple tasks in parallel, right? Simultaneously, it has to execute multiple tasks. So this is a very good feature of Java again, like it supports multi-threading. So high performance. Next feature of Java is it is it has high performance. So what do we mean by high performance? Java is designed to be fast and efficient. So though it is not fast as some low-level languages like C or C++, Java performance is still sufficient for most of the applications. So we can say Java, we can include that Java supports high performance. So these are the important features and major features of Java. So an important interview question. So you have to remember it, right? So you'll get a direct interview question like, what do you know about the Java features? Or tell me about the major Java features, right? So in that case, we have to remember all this. Or if someone asks why we are using Java or why you have chosen Java as the programming language, then we have to say all these features. Along with this, Java is robust, distributed, and dynamic in nature as well. So we have to answer in such a way. So these are the important major features of Java. Hope it is clear, everyone. You can put your response on the chat. If it is clear, then we can go to the next topic. Okay, I think I got the responses. So now let's jump on to the next topic called component. So what are Java components? So Java mainly have three components. So three components are Java virtual machine. The first one is Java virtual machine, which we call it as, in short, we call it as JVM. So JVM is Java virtual machine. So what JVM is? So we can call it as like heart of Java. So this is the actual core component behind Java, which actually supports Aura. So if you remember, we have learned this when we are talking about Java, right? Like platform independent, right? When we are talking about platform independent, we talked about this. So write once, run anywhere, Aura. So this is the main component behind Java, which is responsible for Aura, write once, run anywhere. So it has internally, it has the interpreter, which is actually responsible for changing the bytecode into machine code. So what is bytecode? We'll discuss this in a few minutes, but just think it of like, so we write a program in Java, and when we compile it, so I'll also come to that point, what compile means. So when we compile it, we get a bytecode. So this bytecode needs to be converted into the machine code, because underlying operating system can only understand machine code. So we have to actually convert this bytecode into machine code. And this will be done by the interpreter, which is there within the JVM. And JVM also has just-in-time compiler. So it has, within JVM, we have just-in-time compiler, which is responsible for compiling the bytecode to machine code at runtime. So JVM does convert this bytecode to machine code at runtime. So this actually saves like a high, lot of time, and it is responsible for the performance as well, performance optimization as well, because it is doing this conversion at the runtime. So we call this as JIT. So what just-in-time compiler does is it compiles bytecode to the machine code at runtime. So these are the main components within JVM. So what JVM is? Java Virtual Machine. So it is responsible for platform independent feature of Java, that is write once, run anywhere, because it is the actual component which is converting the bytecode into the machine code using it's within its component called interpreter. And it also has just-in-time compiler, which we call it as JIT compiler, which compiles the bytecode and machine code at runtime. So this is about the JVM, one of the components of Java. Now comes JRE. So JRE is Java Runtime Environment. So what is Java Runtime Environment is? So once we develop, if any application is developed in Java, so and if you wanted to actually run that application on your machine, so you definitely need JRE, Java Runtime Environment. So say for example, some application has been developed in Java. You know that application is developed in Java. So it will be released, right? So you actually get that product or application, you install it on your machine. So if you install an application which is developed in Java, and if you wanted to run that, only running that application on your machine, then we need to definitely need Java runtime environment. So this is the component which is available, used to available as a separate component earlier in Java version, which we will discuss again. So just remember that Java runtime environment provides an environment where you can run the Java applications. Java applications in the sense, applications which are developed or written in Java are called as Java applications. These applications, so we can run it when we have JRE installed on your machines. So we can call it as like when we are saying JRE, so in order to run what we need, we definitely need JVM, because JVM is the core part of the Java is what we said, right? So when we say JRE, it will have JVM plus some other features, right? It has JVM plus some core libraries which are essential for Java application, and also some other files like some config files, property files like that. So we can call it as JRE as the superset of JVM because it has JVM. Along with JVM, it does has some core libraries which are responsible for running the Java applications, and also it has some other files, right? Like config properties files. This is about JRE, and we do have something called JDK. So which is Java Development Toolkit. So JDK is JRE plus compiler, debugger, and it also has some tools like Java Docker, Java Doc, right? So what does JDK mean? Java Development Kit. So whenever we download Java, right? So it is called as JDK. Even though if you type in download Java, you get something like JDK download, JDK, and followed by some version number, and then you will see a link to download. So don't get confused. So JDK is again Java, right? But JDK is superset of JRE, meaning so within JDK we do have package JRE. Along with that, we do have compiler, debugger, and tools, right? So what does it mean by that is, so JDK, once you install JDK, you get an environment to develop the applications. So when you wanted to write some application in Java, you definitely need to have the JDK, Java Development Kit. So once we install JDK, so we are writing the application. So we definitely need to run that application. So JRE comes along with JDK, bundled with JRE, right? So along with that, it needs compiler. Compiler is one which actually compiles the code. So you write some code, set of instructions, and you wanted to compile it. Compile it in the sense like uh, compiler actually checks whether your code is according to the instructions or according to the syntax defined by the programming language. It throws the error. It shows you the error if it is not following the syntax of that programming language, and it also converts the actual program into the bytecode, right? So this is what we call it as a compiler, and debugger is used to debug the application. So if you have some flow, if you have written some code, and if it is not working as per your expectation, then we can debug the code to find out where the actual issue is. So that is what we call it as debugger. And it also has JDK also has Java Docker, which Java document generator, which can be used to generate the technical documentation of the application. So these are all comes under JDK. So in summary, like how we can understand these three components is, so we can say like, you know, you can call this as, if you call this as JDK, it's a superset, right? So within it, you will definitely have the JRE as well. And within JRE, we do have the JVM. Like this, you can remember. So JVM, JRE, and JDK. So if you take JDK, you'll definitely have JRE and JVM within it, because JVM is will be there within JRE, right? So JDK is used to develop the application. So if you wanted to develop any Java application or write any Java code, then we definitely need JDK. So we are going to install JDK. Or if you already have an application developed in Java, but you just wanted to run that application, then you can only install JRE. And JVM will anyway be there within JRE, which is responsible for running the application. So this is all about Java components of Java. So we do have two, like Java can be categorized into two parts. Like when we are learning Java, it can be categorized into two types: core Java and advanced Java. So core Java will have the all Java core concepts. So these are actually sufficient for writing any Selenium scripts or any automation tools, right? So if we learn core Java, that is more than enough. Advanced Java is something required for developing the application, Java applications, which usually developers learn. Like it covers some advanced concepts like Java servlets, Spring Framework, Hibernate, JSPs, microservices. All these comes under advanced Java concepts. But these these will be learned by the Java developers to develop the Java applications. But as an automation tester, core Java will be more than enough. But if we are interested, we can learn advanced Java as well, so that when we are writing the code, we can, as multiple advanced topics as well, so we can write the code efficiently. But even learning core Java is also more than enough for actually starting and writing the Selenium scripts. Now let us understand how Java evolved. So Java history. So Java was developed by James Gosling and his team. So James Gosling and his team created a language named Awk in 1992. So they wanted to create a new language, new programming language, and James Gosling and his team were working on it and created a language called Awk. So why it was named Awk was like there was an Awk tree uh, which was outside the Gosling's office, so they just named it as Awk. But later, it was this programming language was renamed as Java in 1994. So it was named as Java in 1994, inspired by the coffee consumed by the team. So Java is actually a cup of coffee. So the meaning of actual Java is a cup of coffee. So they were consuming that coffee during the development of this language, programming language. So they just wanted to name it as Java because awk was already used by someone else. So they had some, I think they had some, issues with that name. So then this is the reason they have named it as Java. They might have some patent issues, so they have renamed awk to Java. That's how the programming language has been renamed as Java in 1994. Then it was officially released as Java 1.0 version in 1996, way back, like it's around like 28 years before Java was released. Java first version was released. So uh, this is one of the advantage for us. Like when we choose, as we choose Java, right? So it was a old language, right? 28 years back language. So even if you fall into some issues, there's like active and huge, large community where we can get support from. So like this, from first version of Java, which was released in 1996, so there were many versions came into the market. And finally, like the most notable one is like JDK 8. So when we say JDK, so just think it of like Java, right? So both JDK and Java are same. So whenever I say Java or JDK, it is one and the same. So JDK 8 is the notable one, which which was developed by Sun Microsystems. So even James Gosling, when they were developing Java, so they were working for the Sun Microsystems. So till JDK 8, so Java was with Sun Microsystems. So JDK 8 is the last version, which was developed by Sun Microsystems. Sun Microsystems is one of the company, right? And later it was acquired by Oracle. Oracle is another big corporation, so which actually manages, which actually developed the database called Oracle. You might have heard this database called Oracle, right? So Oracle is a database which was developed by Oracle, and Oracle is one big organization which actually acquired Sun Microsystem. Sun Microsystem, which actually acquired Sun Microsystems. So after that, so we had till there till that time. So we used to have community edition, only community edition. Like Java can be downloaded free of cost. But once it was acquired by Oracle, so when Sun was acquired by Oracle, then it was divided into two things, community as well as licensed. So licensed one, we call it as Open JDK. So this will be purchased by the companies which actually write the Java code, like Java. If any organizations wanted to develop the Java applications, so they need to buy this Open JDK licensed version so that they get more features. But community edition is free for us, so we can download community edition for free. Now the current version for Java is JDK 22. So recently 22 version was released, but JDK 21 is the last long-term support version. So what do we mean by long-term support is, so if we say long-term support version, so it will be supported in long term. Say for example, like it will be supported like next 3 to 4 years like that. Then we call it as long-term support. So not all the versions of Java are long-term supported ones. So JDK 8 is the long-term supported one. Then JDK 11, JDK 17 are the long-term supported ones. Now, at present, JDK 21 is the long-term supported version. So you can even install Java 22, any latest version, but you will not get the long-term support. So whenever you are actually developing your application, you need to make sure that you are actually choosing the long-term support version, long-term support JDK version. So the long-term support latest version of Java is 21, JDK 21. And the latest version of Java is 22. But the long-term supported one is 21. So we can install any version, but Selenium recommends to install to have at least JDK 11 plus version. So Selenium recommends to have Java 11 plus, meaning in order to work with Selenium, you need to have at least JDK 11 version, right? This was not the case with earlier Selenium version. So you can even install JDK 8, but with the latest versions of Selenium, Selenium recommends to have JDK 11 plus. So any version above 11 can be installed when we are working with Selenium. We are going to anyway install the latest version, JDK 21. Is that clear till now? So if it is clear till now, then we can jump on to actually download JDK, and then we'll see how to install JDK. If you have any questions regarding the topics which we are discussing now, so then you can put it on the chat as well. So I'll answer those queries. If it is clear, then we can jump on to the next topic. Like I'll show you how to download JDK and how to install it. All right, I saw some responses. So we can go ahead. So how do we download JDK? So we understood like JDK, when we say JDK or Java, they are both one and the same, right? Now we wanted to install Java or JDK, right? So how do you do that? So we will install anyway, the community edition, free cost one. So what do we need to do? So we just need to type in JDK download. One second. Okay. JDK download. So once you go to Google and type in JDK download, you see something called Oracle Java downloads, right? From Oracle India. You can see oracle.com. So you can see the first link as Java downloads Oracle India. So just click on it, and you'll be seeing different versions here. Java 22, 21, 17, like this, right? So Java 22 is the latest version, but 21 is the long-term supported version. So just click on JDK 21. You'll see the downloads here. So you can see downloads specific to the platforms. So Linux. So for Linux, these are the downloadable JDK for different types of installers. In the same way, Mac OS has its own installers and Windows has its own installers. So as we are working with Windows, so I went to the Windows tab, and you can see we do have again 3 types of installers: compressed archive installer and MSI installer. So among these 3, we have to choose x64 installer. This link. When you click on this, the download starts and JDK gets downloaded onto your machine. If you choose MSI installer, so it's a small installer, which again, when we execute it, it actually downloads the actual download of the installer, right? So instead of that, we directly download the installer. And if you are using Mac OS, then you can choose the DMG installer here, this one. So for Windows, you can choose the second one called installer. Instead of MSI installer, we can directly download the x64 installer. Just click on it. So it will ask you to download. So choose the location and then it gets downloaded. So it is around 165 MB. So depending on your internet speed, it downloads. And once it is downloaded, we can go ahead with the installation. So I'm going to put this. So it could be anything. So I'm going to put this for your reference, how to download JDK. So JDK download link. This will be for JDK 21. Remember that. And if you wanted to download any other JDK version, you can choose your own version and download in the same way. Now, so you can follow this link to download JDK 21 version, right? I put it here. Now, the next step will be installing Java. So how do you install Java? So once we download Java, so it is here, right? The file, the exe file has been downloaded. I have just downloaded this file. So how do we install it? So even before installing, we wanted to make sure, if there are any conflicts. So you just check if 21 version is already there. So if it is not there, so then you can go ahead and install the 21 version, right? So just right click on it, exe file, and do run as administrator. You get something called, do you want to allow this app to make changes to your device? Then just click on yes. It's a wizard, right? So it says Java SC development kit. So SC is standard edition, Java standard edition development kit 21.0.3, 64-bit. This is the exact version which we are going to install now. So that's the version name. So just click on next on the first screen. And this is asking you where to install your Java. So the default location is C program files, Java, JDK 21. So in the same way, if you are using Mac, you will get some default installation path. You can choose the default installation path, or you can choose the custom one. It's your choice. So I am actually choosing the default one. So it is gonna install Java at this location, C program files, Java JDK 21. So just click on next. It takes a few seconds for installation. We just need to wait for that. So this is how you actually install Java. So you download JDK from Oracle official website, and then we actually install it this way. So if you see, it just says Java development kit. So JDK is Java development kit, right? So 21 successfully installed. So we can just close it, click on close. So it is successfully installed. So to verify it, what we can do is, you can actually go to your C drive, program files, Java, JDK 21. So you can see this is installed. All right, now we wanted to set something called Java path. So when we are installing Java, so we have to make sure 2 steps. Along with the installation, we also need to set the Java path or the class path, which is important. So because operating system, when it wants to pick up Java from anywhere, so right, or from the command prompt, you wanted to do some Java operations, then we have to set the Java path so that operating system will know about JDK, where Java is installed, the Java path, right? So how do we set the Java path? So you can go to your PC or system if you are using Windows 11, right click on it, go to properties, and you see advanced system settings. Just click on it, and you see environment variables here. You can click on this like this, or there is other way. Simple way is if you are getting like click on Windows, try to type environment variables. So you see edit the system environment variables. If this pops up, then you can just click on it. So you'll be getting this pop-up. Or else what you need to do, you don't need to worry. You just need to go to this PC, right here, properties, advanced system settings. You can see advanced system settings here. This is all about system information. Within this, we'll see advanced system settings. Just click on it. So we get a system properties advanced pop-up, and you see environment variables here. So these are the variables we define so that operating system can pick up and launch the applications. It will know, operating system will know where the actual installation of the applications are. So in some cases, like Java will be like some applications will set their environment variables automatically during the installation itself. But for some, we need to actually define it. So we need to define it for Java. So what we need to define is, we are just telling operating system that, hey, my Java has been installed here, is what we are telling the operating system. This information we are giving to operating system. And this is the reason we are adding the environment variables. That's the actual meaning of adding environment variables. We are letting operating system know that my Java installation is present at this location. So for that, the variable name has to be definitely Java underscore home. And you don't need to worry. All this is one-time setup. You do it once during the installation of Java. After that, we will not do this regularly. So this is all one-time setup. So we download it once, we install it, and then we set the Java path. So these are the, apart from download, there are only two steps. We install Java. It was very simple, right? It got just completed in 10 to 15 seconds. And then the second step in after installation is setting Java path. So how do we set Java path is, we navigate to the environment variables, and the variable name should be definitely Java underscore home. So it should not be changed. So it should be definitely Java underscore home. And the variable value will be bin folder of, or the installation location of your JDK. So JDK till JDK, and also you need to give till bin folder binaries. These are the binaries. So copy this and have it copied here under the variable value. Variable name will always be Java underscore home, and variable value will be Java location, JDK location till bin. Just click on OK. So I have Java home set, Java path, Java class path set here. Click on OK. That's it. Now, in order to confirm if you have Java installed on your machine or not, so just click on run, or you can go to, how do you get this run window is Windows R. So just click on Windows R. Let's say steps. First step is install JDK or Java. And the second step is setting Java class path. That is, what did we set? We set Java underscore home variable. Right? So these are the two steps of after, like once we download Java, these are the two steps. So we completed these two steps. And if you remember, we installed JDK. Why did we install JDK? Why did we download JDK and install JDK? Because we wanted to write Java programs, right? We are not here to just run the Java application. If it was the case, we can download only JRE, but we wanted to write the application or write some programs, Java programs. We wanted to learn Java, so we wanted to write some Java programs. So for that, we definitely need JDK, because JDK is the one which is the superset of JRE and JVM. We learned that, right? So only if you have JDK, you can write the programs, Java programs. So this is the reason we downloaded JDK and installed JDK. So two main steps: we installed JDK and we have set the Java class path. Java underscore home is the variable name which we have set, and which actually tells the operating system where the Java has been installed. Right now, we wanted to confirm if Java is installed or not, or which version of Java we do have. Right. So for that, we can actually press Windows R CMD command prompt. You get a command prompt window. Then just type in Java hyphen version. So you have to see something like this. If it says Java no command found like that, meaning Java is not installed or not installed correctly, right? If it says something like this, so you can see here, it mentions the version of Java. It says 21.0.3, right? So this is what we installed just now. So it actually says the Java version and when it was installed, right? It actually says the Java version when it was released. And it you can observe LTS. So LTS is long-term support, right? It also says that you also have JRE, right? Java hotspot, right? We also have JRE as well as JDK is what it is saying, and it is also mentioning that it is an LTS version, long-term supported version. So this is how you can confirm if you have Java installed on your machine or not. And also it gives you the version number, which version of Java you have. Hope it is clear till here. So if everyone it is clear, then we can move on to the next topic. You can put your response on the chat window. Please do not try it now. Once the session is completed, the recording session will be shared. So you can actually watch the session and then parallelly you can install and do the stuff whatever I'm doing. All right, I got the responses, so we can go ahead. So once we install Java, so we need to write the programs using Java, right? So for that, we need some environment. So that environment we call it as IDE, Integrated Development Environment. Java hotspot, you can think of it like a JVM. So now we wanted to install. So we installed. Now we need an environment to write the Java program, right? So that environment we call it as IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So what IDE is? So we can even write Java programs in a notepad as well. You can write the Java code in notepad and you can compile it from the command prompt as well. You can get the output there. But if you wanted to write some complex logic, if you wanted to write some hundreds of lines of code, right? And managing that huge, like large number of lines code or the big programs is difficult when we are writing in Notepad. So this is the reason we need to choose one IDE. So IDEs are specifically designed and developed to actually write the Java programs or application more efficiently because it has its own features. It highlights the syntax. It gives you the suggestions like that. We'll see in few minutes, right? So just think it of like IDE provides an environment where we can actually write our Java program more efficiently, right? What are the major IDEs available are Eclipse. Eclipse is one of the most used IDEs for writing Java programs. Eclipse, NetBeans, and IntelliJ IDEA. this is also good editor, right? So we can choose any of these IDs to write the Java programs, and we are going to actually choose Eclipse as the ID, as Eclipse is one of the most widely used IDs for writing the Java program. So as we have chosen Eclipse, we need to download Eclipse. Eclipse is also again free to download. So let's go and download Eclipse. So Eclipse is an IDE which we wanted to install and write the Java programs. It's an integrated development environment. So let's go to Google and then just type in Eclipse download. So you see the first link, Eclipse, from the eclipse.org. Eclipse.org is the official website of Eclipse. You can say Eclipse downloads, right? Eclipse Foundation. Just click on it. So it will automatically know your operating system and suggest you the download exe, right? So exe file download, it will show you here on the left. So if you are a Mac user, so you will get, by default, it identifies your operating system and it will give you the corresponding download file. So you can just click on this, install Farad desktop ID packages. So you can just click on download x86_64. So click on that. And you can choose any other mirror which is nearer to your region. So I am not choosing anything. So I'll just click on download. So your download should start, and yeah, you can choose your location, download location. So it actually downloads Eclipse exe file. And again, the download time depends on the internet connectivity, your bandwidth. So I think it's around 130 MB and it is downloaded. Yeah, it is downloaded. You can see Eclipse installer JRE win64.exe is the file which we downloaded just now. Now we are gonna install it. Yeah, before going to install it, so if you observe, so this Eclipse was developed using Java. So Eclipse is an application or IDE which itself has been developed in Java. So if you see, it is coming with JRE. So in order to run any Java application, what do we need? We discussed this, right? What do we need? We need JRE. So if we wanted to run any application which was developed in Java, we discussed this. We need to have definitely JRE on our machine. So this is the reason Eclipse actually is packaging JRE within it. So you can see it here. So they know that they definitely need JRE, right? So it is coming along with JRE, as Eclipse itself is developed in Java, right? Now let's go ahead and install Eclipse. Just right click and do run as administrator. Just click on yes. Now we are installing Eclipse. Eclipse is an IDE where we'll start writing Java programs. So you'll get many options. So Eclipse gives you many options which type you wanted to install. You can choose the first one, Eclipse IDE for Java developers. And we can choose the installation location. So Java 21 plus VM. So you can see it actually identified and it is choosing this location for JRE. So if it was not there, if we say for example you didn't install JDK 21, it must have installed its own JRE in some location, because you need JRE to run the Java application, that is Eclipse, right? Eclipse was developed in Java, so it installs its own JRE. But as we do have JDK installed already, so it has automatically chosen this. So it will pick up JRE from this location. And installation folder. So Eclipse has to be installed somewhere, right? So it has chosen the default folder. So you can choose the default location, or again, you can click on this icon and choose your own location wherever you wanted to install Eclipse. I'm actually keeping the default one, and you can check these two checkboxes. You can keep it like that. You don't need to change that. You'll get the start menu and desktop shortcut of Eclipse. That's it. You just click on install. It will take some, few minutes for the installation to complete. We just need to wait. So meanwhile, Eclipse installing. If you have any questions, you can put it on the chat. So till now, what we have seen is like we understood what Java is, what are the Java features, what are the different types of programming languages. Okay, if you get something like this, just check on unsigned. So you have to select this checkbox, which is unsigned, and then just say trust selected. So we have discussed Java features, and we have discussed about three components of Java, and then we installed JDK Java, and now we are installing IDE called Eclipse. Yeah, it's completed. If you see, it just says it's completed, right? So you can just click on this launch button, which is in green color, or I'll show you how to launch every time, like right. So this is only after installation, right? So, but every time you need to launch Eclipse from the shortcut. So I'm just closing this. Do you want to launch it now? No. And you can see a new icon here. So this is the Eclipse icon. And if you double click on it, it has to launch Eclipse. So if you see here, it actually started trying to start and it actually disappeared, right? So in some cases, like in some latest versions or in some cases, so there's some glitch or some bug in Eclipse. So it is the shortcut is not get when you click on the shortcut, it is not getting actually it is not launching the Eclipse directly. So we do have a workaround for that. Like we need to add something. I'll show you that. So once you install Eclipse, so if you are clicking on shortcut and if it is not launching your Eclipse, then you need to go to the Eclipse installation. So this is the place where we install Eclipse. So go to this location and then I think this is not the location. This is the location. Java 2024-06, right? So whenever you're installing something, just keep a note of this installation folder. So when we are installing, so this was the installation folder. I remember it, but in your case, if you are changing the location or if you don't remember, then it's better you always save the installation location, because we might be needing that like to make some changes, right? So just make a note of the installation location while you are installing any product, not only Eclipse or JDK, right? All right. So now when we are trying to launch the Eclipse.exe or Eclipse shortcut, it was not getting launched, right? So even you can try it from here, Eclipse.exe. It is just trying, but it is not able to open it, right? It is not able to launch it. So in such cases, you need to navigate to the installation location and you see Eclipse.ini file here, right? So just right click on it, open it. One second. Okay. What we can do is let me open that in Notepad. So you can see this is eclipse.ini. So this is what actually Eclipse is using to start up, to launch the Eclipse, right? So here we have to add these two lines. So don't worry, this is also again one-time setup, and also usually when you install Eclipse, when you double click on Eclipse shortcut, it has to launch it. But there seems to be some problem in the latest versions. So that's the reason we need to add these two lines. So these two lines I'm going to copy into our notes. So these two lines we will be adding adding into your eclipse.en. Forgot to provide you the Eclipse download link. So you can just click on this link to download the Eclipse. And after download, we will install Eclipse. And after installation, if you double click on your shortcut and if it is not getting launched, then we have to make this change in the eclipse.ini file. And you can find this eclipse.ini file in the installation location. Right. So I navigated to my installation location. I found this eclipse.ini. I also made this change. Change in the sense, we just need to add these two lines. We are seeing Eclipse that this is the location. This is the location, where the Java is again, because it is not able to pick up automatically, right? So these are the two lines. We'll add it and then just save it. We need to have admin privileges for this. So I think we need to open it as an administrator. Just right click on it. This is Notepad++. This is a small software similar to Notepad, where you will have more features. So if you want, you can install Notepad++, and you can open this eclipse.ini file, and then you can just add these two lines. So once you add these two lines, save it, and then close the file. Now go back to your shortcut and double click on it. Now it gets launched. So you don't need to worry. You just need to add the two lines in the eclipse.ini file. That's one time job. Now if you see, it launches Eclipse, and then usually you will get something like Eclipse workspace here, something like this, right? So by default you will get it something like this, but this is the workspace in the sense it is actually Eclipse is giving you some workspace where you can create your projects, where you can organize your Java programs. So you can create your own workspace. You can accept the default, but I'm gonna name my workspace and just click on launch. Yeah, Eclipse has been launched. Now you're going to, just maximize this Eclipse window, and this is a welcome screen. So you can go through these tutorials. You can see how to create a hello world application, all this if you want, if you're interested, or else just close this welcome screen and you see this screen. You can just close this task list and all, so that, you'll get a maximized window. So you see Eclipse once you install it the first time, and once open it, right? So you see create a Java project. So the first step for writing Java is Java programs is creating a Java project, right? How do you create a Java project? So as this is the first time you are getting these links, create a Java project like this. But once you create, you'll not one project, you're not going to get these links. So the other way to create Java project is file, new Java project. So this is one way, or you can choose from the icon bar as well. So this is the icon bar where you can click on this arrow, new Java project. So you can create in two ways. So I'm going to choose this one, file, new Java project. So the first step to write the Java program is to create a Java project, right? So, and name the Java project. So I'm gonna name my Java project as like my Java project. All others you can choose it as default, and you can see JRE, right? So which JRE you wanted to use is what it is asking. We'll choose the default one. It has chosen the 21 version which we installed. So you can keep it everything default and slowly come down and you see something called module here. So this is the new one. It comes in the new versions after 17. I think after Java 17, we are getting this option. So we don't need this feature for now. So you can just disable this. Just disable this create module info.java. So you can uncheck this and then go ahead. So just click on finish. So this actually creates our Java project, right? Under it, if you expand it, once Java project is created, if you expand it, you will see two things here. JRE system library, it is showing which JRE you are going to use, and something called SRC. SRC is a folder. So you can call it as some directory or a folder where you are going to create some packages. So this is the hierarchy. So we create first project, then package, then we create a class. So this is the hierarchy to write a Java program. So as we completed creating the Java project, we are going to create a new package now. So second thing will be package. So right click on SRC, new package. So you can name your package. So daily we are going to create packages. So I'm going to name each day one package. So as today is first day we are learning Java, I'll just name my packages day one. So just click on finish. So once we create package, then we can create the class. So what did we do? Once we launched the Eclipse, we created a Java project. As a first step, we need to create the Java project. And under it, we got SRC. So within SRC, we are creating the package. So we created a package. Again, all these are like just for organizing. You can think it of a package as a folder. And inside the folder, we usually have the files, right? So we are going to create Java classes now within the package. So I'm just right click on your package, new, you'll have an option called class. This is Java class, create a Java class. Right click on class, Java class. Right now I wanted to name my Java class. So before naming the Java class, we need to know the naming convention. So what are the naming convention? So before that, like let me have this notes here. So what we did till now, we launched the Eclipse and then we created a project. So how did we create the project? File new Java project, and then we created a package within it. And after creating the package, we created a class. This is the hierarchy. So this is the hierarchy we always follow: project, package, and class. Though package is optional, it's always a best practice to organize your classes within a package. Right? Project, package, and class. This we have created. Now, to create a new class and to name the class, we do need to follow some conventions. We do have some conventions for the class names. So what are the class name conventions? Class name should follow Pascal case or upper camel case. That is, first letter of each word has to be uppercase. Say for example, here this is the example. So if it has two words, so upper and case are two words, right? So the first letter of each word has to be uppercase. So in this case, if you see, U is uppercase and in case C is uppercase. So if you wanted to name your class, so it has to be camel case. So each word of whatever class you wanted to name it has to be, each word within the class name has to be first letter of the word has to be uppercase. So this is what we call it as camel case. And class name can contain underscore. It should not contain any special characters, but it can contain underscore. Class name can contain numbers. And class names has to be meaningful length. It has to be meaningful. You should not name it some ABC, XYZ, something like that. So whatever purpose you are creating the class, that purpose has to be reflected in your class name. So it has to be readable and it has to be meaningful. and it has to be singular node. So mostly it has to be singular node. So it should not be, like something like a sentence, right? It should be some single node. It has to be. Say for example, it can be like something like employee or job details like that, which is still a singular node, right? But it should not be some you know, like some completely different sentence, right? It has to be a singular node. So these are some of the class name conventions which we need to follow. So now we wanted to create a class name following these conventions. So I'm gonna create a class with name called my first Java program. So if you see how I'm naming, I'm not using any special characters. You see each of it is a single noun, my first Java program. And you see each word, my first Java program, each letter of my words is uppercase. My F, M, J, P, all are the uppercase letters. So this you need to follow. This convention you need to definitely follow. And all the others, just keep it default. And for now, just say finish. So this is how you get it. But if you see, the font is very small, right? So we need to enlarge it. So for that, just hit on Control and the plus symbol. You go on click plus, it gets zoomed in. I think it is better now. Hope it is clear, visible and clear for you. Or else I can still zoom in. All right. So if you see, the first step is creating the class. So without creating a class in Java, you can't write single line of code. So if you remember, we discussed Java is a purely object-oriented programming language, right? So Java is a purely object-oriented programming language. This is the reason we should definitely create the class first. So without creating the class, we can't write the code. So we have created the class. And if you see here, you don't need to worry about all this. It is just saying package name. So which package we define class. So that is what it is saying, right? And then comes class name, right? Public. So don't worry about this public. We'll discuss in the coming sessions what public is. But for now, just uh, use it as is, like public, class, and class name. And if you see, we had this brace here. You can get it down here. And so any class should be enclosed within the braces with a open brace and a closed brace. So this is mandatory again. So these are all like syntax, Java syntax, the syntax provided by Java, and we have to follow that syntax, right? So there is no logic behind that. But of course, we do have some keywords here, which we are gonna discuss in a few after a few sessions, right? But the closing brace and opening brace, right? So the class has to be enclosed within these braces, opening brace and a closed brace. This is mandatory. Okay, so after creating the class, we need to create a main method. So we can define the data and methods within the class, data variables and methods within a class. Now I wanted to create a method. So a method, once we create the method, we can run the Java program. So again, you don't need to worry what method is. We will discuss everything. But for now, you just need to think it of like we need a main method. So we need a method. We will create methods within a class, and within that, main is the main method. Actually, main is the main method which actually drives the execution. So this is the syntax you need to follow as is. You should not change it for now. So you see public, static, void, main, and within the brackets, we will be having string args and two square brackets. And again, method also, main method or any method will also be enclosed in braces, open brace and a corresponding closed brace, right? This is mandatory. So we'll discuss everything, all these keywords. So if you see here, the colors are different. So whatever we are defining, those are in black, but whatever are keywords, so these whatever are in maroon or red, whatever color it is. So this is, these are the keywords. Keywords are the reserved words by Java. So you can't use these keywords for the class names, project names, method names. You can't use these keywords. These are the reserved words in Java. Java actually reserved some keywords for its own syntax, right? So those words, those keywords are reserved words. We can't use it for the package name or project name, class name. We can't use that. So all these colored ones are the keywords: public, class, static, void, everything, right? So this we need to remember. So to zoom in, like what I use, Control plus, right? So if you are a Mac user, it will be Command plus command and then plus symbol. All right. Now we have created a class, and within that we have created a method called main method, because main method is where the execution of the Java program starts from. So we have a main method now. Now we are going to write our first line of code. So what we'll do is we'll print something on the console. System dot out dot println, and within that I'm going to open double quotes and I'll just say Java. So what did we do here? I'm writing a line of code. So where you need to have this syntax as is again. System.out.println. Again, why we are writing this, everything we are going to discuss. We are going to discuss this later. But for now, you should write it something like this: system.out.println, and within the brackets. So you can within the double quotes, whatever string you wanted to print and display on the console, you can write it that. So once you write it, so you see a semicolon. So each line of statement in Java has a delimiter. So it has to end with a semicolon. So this is also very important. Remember that each line of statement has to end with a semicolon. So this is one line of code, and just to let Java know that this I'm saying Java that this is my end of line of statement. So I'm putting semicolon. And now we are done with writing the first Java program. We just need to right click and run this program. Right click, you see an option called Run As Java Application. Just click on it. So you see a beautiful output here in the console, right? Welcome to Java world. Where did this come from? So this is what you are doing. We did it. We displayed it, right? We wrote it in our program. So this is what we see it in the console. So what did we do? We wanted to print something on the console. Console is something like where you can actually view the output, or if you have any issues in your program, that we can actually view it in your console, right? So whatever you write it here, it will be printed. So say for example, I wanted to write another statement. So the shortcut for system.out.println is you can write sys o and then do control space. So whatever you write it here, that will be displayed on the console. Right click, run as Java application. You can see welcome to Java world, and in the new line it is saying this is first. This is okay. This is my first Java program. So remember, it has to be within the double quotes. So as this is a string, so any string, it has to be enclosed in double quotes if you wanted to display it on the console. This is my first Java program. Like this, you can write anything and look for the output in the console, right? So if you make any mistakes, right? So how ID helps, I'm going to show you that. Say for example, this static, right? So say for example, by mistake, I have given something like this. So instead of lowercase s, say for example, I have given uppercase s. So if you see here, it didn't turn into maroon color, right? So it just says syntax error on token static. It also suggests you saying static expected. So the S letter, it has to be in lowercase is what it is saying. So so IDs help us to rectify our errors, right? So it has to be lowercase. So with this, we should be knowing that Java treats keywords or anything keywords as case sensitive. So what do you mean by case sensitive is, so if we treat lowercase and uppercase as same letter, then it is case insensitive. But if it treats us differently, so just now we saw, so we might think, what's the difference? Both are static, right? But there is a difference. Java treats these two as two different words, even though even though both are the letter S, but it is an uppercase S, whereas earlier one was lower cases. So Java treats these as two different words altogether. So you need to be careful when you are using the keyword. So it is Java is case sensitive. Remember this. And whatever we wanted to print on the console, we did that, right? So along with this, you can even print, you can even get some output on the console for the calculations as well. Say, for example, if you wanted to print some numbers, the shortcut is sys-o and then control space. So I can just say, for example, I wanted to add some two numbers. Say, for example, I wanted to add some 10 plus 20, something like this, right? So if I do like this, what happens is, let's run it and see. If you see, it just says 10 plus 20. But if my expectation is the result of 10 plus 20, so I should not be enclosing that in double quotes. So if you remember, we said like strings has to be enclosed in double quotes. Let me put it here. Only strings has to be enclosed in double quotes. If they are numbers, right? And if you wanted to have some evaluation or calculation here, then you should not be enclosing that in a double quotes. Now let's see the change in output. So if you see here, now this time it says 30 because it is actually calculating this value. So it knows it is identifying this plus as a operation to be performed between these two numbers. It identified these two as numbers because you are not enclosing that in the double quotes. But if you wanted to have something printed like, say, for example, in the same case, I can do something like this. So you can even concatenate two words, right? So say for it, and you can write it something like this. Put it like this so that it understands it has to print result on the console. Plus in the sense, this plus should not be confused with this plus. So plus in the sense concatenation of two strings. So okay, I'll show you. Before that, let me show you this. Say for example, Java. Then I can say like program, right? So if you see here, let's say for example, this is not there for now. So in order to concatenate two strings, this is how we can write it. See, Java, I didn't kept it as one sentence, right? So I splitted it. So to concatenate those two strings, I used plus symbol here. But again, as these two are different strings, so each string has to be enclosed in double quotes. And as I wanted to concatenate these two strings, we need to use the plus symbol. Right? Now we wanted to see the result of 10 plus 20, and just to make sure 10 plus 20 are the numbers, we enclose it again in the brackets, and we wanted to see this result. So you can see here again we use the plus symbol. This plus symbol is a concatenation. This is one string, and then some calculation here. This could be anything, right? So I just kept it something like this. This could be string as well, like in our last example. So I'm just enclosing this in double quotes because I wanted the calculation of that. So now let's execute and verify. So I didn't save it after making the changes. It is asking me to save the class. You can even check this. Always save resources before launching so that it will not ask you again. It will automatically save and launch the program. Click on OK and you can see result 30 here, right? So because result is you enclosed in double quotes, it has displayed as is, and 10 plus 20, you wanted the result. So it actually, we enclosed it in the brackets. So it actually displayed the calculation of that numbers, that operation, right? So these are some of the examples, or single line of code or simple code, how you write it in Java program and how you execute it. Now let's now that we are familiar, like display some output on the console. Let's quickly create one more class. So just right click on your package, new class. I'm gonna call this as my second Java program. And as we know, main, we definitely need to have the main method. So you can just tick here. So select this checkbox so that it will give the syntax along with the main method. So just click on finish. So you can see you'll for the first time you will get something like this within the main method to do auto-generated method stuff. So you can just select it and remove it. So if you see, we created a new class. I named my second class as my second Java program. And you can see we didn't write it this time. So when we selected it while creating the class, we got the syntax automatically, right? Now, so you can bring this like this, or you can leave it as is. No issues, no difference, right? Now, let's actually type in something like I wanted to say, for example, write something, I like Java. And I wanted to copy these two. I wanted to print. So let's execute it. And you can see two statements displayed on the console output, right? Now, if I wanted to have these two in the same line, so how do we do that? So this print ln you see here, right? So just remove this ln. Ln is to have the new line. So just run it now. You will see the difference. So it says, I like Java, I like Selenium 2 in the same line. Because after writing this statement, we specifically mentioned that removed ln, meaning, so there is no new line. You can continue is what we said. So it actually displays the next statement as well in the same line. Now, if I wanted to comment, say for example, I'm writing something and I wanted to comment something. So if you remember, I have commented something like this, right? So just for our understanding, I have written something, but this was not considered for the compilation, right? So what happened? What happened was like this was considered as a comment. You can even see the colors change here. It turned into green because it never considers as some syntax in Java when you actually comment it out. And how did I comment it out? I used two forward slashes like this. So if I wanted to comment some code or if I wanted to write some comments, then it has to be done like this with two forward slashes. That line of code will not be considered as a statement by Java. And you have to observe this. Each line of statement I'm using, I'm ending it with the semicolon. And if I wanted to comment out any line of code, we are actually doing that using two backslashes, right? And if you wanted to comment multiple lines, say for example, these two lines, I wanted to comment it out. So how do we do that? So first I'll show you this. So once we comment it out, so when we right click and do run as, you'll see only I like Java this time. It is not considering this thing for the output, right? Java consider this as the comment because we comment it out, right? Because say for example, I wanted to comment the multiple line. say for example, you wanted to comment from 3 to 4 lines like that. In our case, 2 lines. So you can do it like this. So slash star, and at the end, you will end it with star slash. Right? So these are the, this is the way how you comment your line of statements in Java, right? So if you wanted to do it with a shortcut, you can do it with, control and then slash, forward slash. So this is the keyword for commenting out a single line. And if you wanted to comment the multiple lines, select multiple lines and do control shift forward slash, so that everything will be commented out. All those lines will be commented out. So I'm going to put that again, like in the notes, don't worry. So this is all about like writing a simple Java program. And yeah, we have seen like in this session, actually is it clear till now? So we just created a new project package, and we are just playing with by creating the classes. And we are just writing some console output, writing something to just display it on the console output. Very simple Java program. All right, then I think it is very clear, right? So uh, you it's very simple, right? So to create a project, you just created a class. In the main method, we are writing whatever we wanted, and that has been displayed on the console, right? If you have any questions in the today's topic, then you can put it on the chat. And in the next session, we'll discuss more topics. So in this session, we have learned like what Java is, what are the Java features. So, and we have discussed the 3 components of Java. We discussed Java history, and then we have seen how to download JDK. We installed Java, and then we installed Eclipse, and then we have written our first Java program. All right, then. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat, or else like we can end up this session. And before I end up this session, I'll just stop the recording.